Today we're looking at good Magic the Gathering cards that we thought were bad, either when we just started playing the game or we were kids and we were playing the game. Anyway, these cards we thought they were terrible. Turns out they were amazing. I'm gonna start off with Jace the Mind Sculptor. Now I have to admit I wasn't really new to the game or too young when Jace the Mind Sculptor came out, but holy, I thought this card was absolute garbage. 4 mana for a brainstorm. Like, my mentality is this card is just going to get attacked and then it's going to die. Then I realized 4 mana just to brainstorm. Well, why don't I just play brainstorm for 1 mana? Then we have 4 mana for, like, look, unsummon, -1, return target creature to its owner's hand. Were you kidding me? So anyway, I thought this card was unplayable junk. Now, funny enough, I did get to play with this in Standard. And I played with the card so bad that it almost reinforced what I originally thought. Like, because instead of like brainstorming and then like cracking a fetch land, I would actually crack the fetch land first to thin my deck so I could brainstorm into the better cards. So anyway, I just I thought it was bad and ended up becoming bad. So it was sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay, next up, we've got Jess with Yawgmoth's Bargain. That's a funny one. We have a 6-mana enchantment. Skip your draw step, pay 1 life, and draw a card. If you didn't think Necropotence was good, this card could look a little awkward being an entire 6 mana. And you lose your draw step. Like, isn't the draw step the thing that we absolutely love above everything else? That's about my favorite part of any sort of every turn is drawing my card. I will sacrifice my untap step as long as I don't sacrifice my draw step. Now, Jess does have an explanation for it. I was not a tournament or competitive player, and I always thought losing life sucked, and that Painland sucked, and anything that brought my life total down sucked. You and a million people out there, Jess. I think of the life gain players. They build their entire deck out of life gain. Wait, you're gonna sacrifice the very thing that keeps you alive? That can't be a good thing. Yeah, it's a funny thing about this card. It's banned everywhere. I mean, they actually just unrestricted it in Vintage, I think, within the last few years. Not too broken in Vintage anymore, believe it or not. Okay, so I'm going to prioritize everybody that gives me an explanation. So you give me an explanation with your card. I'm definitely going to prioritize you because I have no idea what you guys mean. Okay, we have Archangel Anu with Dark Depths. When it came out, 30 mana for a creature and a land with no mana ability. Oh my god. So, like, okay, yeah, if you don't see the combo potential in this, I mean, to be honest, I always knew Dark Depths as a combo card. Like, when the very first time I heard of Dark Depths, I wasn't around playing when Dark Depths just came out. All right, so like by the time I heard Dark Depths was a thing, it was already broken. You know, they already found Thespian Stage and Vampire Hexmage. So yeah, a card that doesn't tap for mana. You got to spend 1 million mana to get this 20/20. You'll be dead by then. I totally see that, Archangel New. 100% can see that. Okay, we got Lil MX Doom. Thanks so much for your super chat. Anything with Delve, still try to avoid playing. Okay, so let's look at Treasure Cruise. I mean, to your credit, I think Wizards R&D assumed that this card wasn't actually going to be that good. You know, delving. So this was 8 mana sorcery, delve, so you can exile a card from your graveyard while casting the spell. And each card you exile pays for 1 generic. You draw 3 cards. That is very good, but they printed this in the same set as fetch lands. And frankly, if you're ever using fetch lands or playing in a fetch land format, the card is brutal. I mean, the card, it's very easy to pull off. Getting the 3 cards is very, very easy. It's actually more fair in Pioneer. Look, the only format it's not banned in is Pioneer. It's still a very good card there, but only in 1 deck, and you do have to build heavily around it. Benny said Jace was banned in Modern because players would splash blue just to run Jace. They almost never lost. Jace, I believe, was banned like before Modern even existed. Might have lasted a month or something, but it was part of that like initial ban list. Mercenary with Necropotence. We have Yawgmoth's Bargain. Why don't we get Necropotence on here? I thought to be awful at launch until the first Pro Tour that proved it to be uber busted. I don't think you're the first. I don't think you're the only one with that opinion. Triple black. I mean, again, you have to skip your draw step. Imagine playtesting with this card and you accidentally like lock yourself out a few times, because it happens. Okay, so you can necro lock yourself where you don't have enough life to pay and you're not allowed to draw any more cards for the rest of the game. So if you get your life total down to 1 and like you can't progress your board state, then you're just losing. And I imagine, you know, you could even play test some of those games and come to the conclusion, oh, Necropons is just garbage. The risk is way too high for the reward. But for as long as you have any sort of life gain in your deck, as they did, so that Necropons actually becomes busted. I think the best Necro decks in the past were ones that did give you some life gain. Next, we've got... Did you explain in your super chat? Still try to avoid playing them. Anything with Delve. I wouldn't say that explanation was particularly deep, but that's okay. I accept your card anyway. Okay, we have Fabian with a Arboreal Grazer. To be honest, I didn't think anything of this card either. At first, I thought hand ramp was bad until I played a landfall deck. You always get land stuck in your hand with how many lands you run. So Arboreal Grazer, a green 0/3 with reach. When this creature enters, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. But really, how different is this from Mox Diamond? It's very similar. Mox Diamond is a 0-mana artifact. If Mox Diamond would enter the battlefield, you may discard a land card from your hand, and if you do, put Mox Diamond onto the battlefield. If you don't, put it into its owner's graveyard. So, I mean, this costs 0, this costs 1, but the net effect is you get mana on the battlefield. But even better than Mox Diamond, this thing can block. This thing has reach, so it can block flyers. Believe it or not, it also can attack. It's got the hidden mode of attacking. But yeah, it acts mostly as a Mox Diamond, but even better for landfall decks. So you know, landfall player's best friend. Next, I got a super chat from John. Thanks so much for your super chat, John. I believe Heartwood Storyteller was bad at first. Do you have any particular reason? Heartwood Storyteller. Never heard of it. Still have never heard of it. This is a 3-mana 2/3 tree folk. Whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, each of a player's opponents may draw a card. It looks okay. I never heard of this thing. People are playing this thing. I guess this is a good commander card. If anyone wants to play a non-creature spell, well, we all cash in on that. Let's look at Phil Goad. Remember, if you have a good explanation, I'm definitely going to prioritize you. Copy and paste your response. Phil Goad, when I started, I thought all the pieces of the Urzatron were a waste. 3 land drops for colorless mana. It's a lot of mana, but I'm curious. I don't know the history of the Urza lands. Like, were they even viable prior to Modern? Like, that's the earliest that I know Urza, like the whole Urza's Tower, Urza's Mine, Urza's Power Plant thing is enabled. And there were enough cards in the future of Modern to enable this entire combo with Ancient Stirrings, Expedition Map, Sylvan Scrying. But without those cards, yeah, it's really hard to, and well, I wouldn't say it's impossible to enable, but it's clunky to enable. And I totally could see it being somewhat crap back then. Not to mention, like, if you go way back then, there's all sorts of cards that beat this up, like Dust Bowl and Wasteland and so on. So it's even worse back then. Yeah, I think it's only started to shine in a non-Wasteland format. So you know what? I don't blame you either. I don't blame you either for thinking this whole thing was crap. Don't let the government know your Grazer can attack. Oh, Lil MX Doom says, I explained in a comment, but I'm a Golgari Commander player, so I always feel like I would rather keep the cards in the graveyard for value or reanimation rather than exile for a discount. Explaining, Lil MX Doom describing their hate for Delve. Why kill? This is an interesting card. Rhystic Study. From Why Kill. It sucked at printing. Yeah, that's true. Back when it was mostly a 2-player format in standard. It's like, okay, so you had this, how do I put it? You had this heuristic that, well, this card was bad, you know, in a 2-player format. Why would it be any better in a 4-player format? Yeah, I can see that. Just completely writing it off from the start. Benjamin Berkey with Sword of the Meek. I didn't realize the combo potential at the time. Well, you know, that happens with combo cards. Yeah, I wouldn't blame you. 2-mana equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+2 and equip for 2. Whenever a 1/1 creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may return Sword of the Meek from your graveyard to the battlefield, then attach to that creature. I guess, I mean, back then, what was it called? Thopter Foundry was the combo card for this. There might be other ones, though. There might be other cards that do a similar thing. Or is there? Whenever a 1/1 creature enters the battlefield under your control. Is there another, like, sack? I don't know. Maybe there isn't another sack outlet for Sword of the Meek. So you'd have had to have known the combo card or not, and there's just no other way around it. Okay, Someone to 4C with Lion's Eye Diamond. When it came out, I didn't understand how you could play things when you had to discard your hand. Yeah, how did they play this card back? Maybe to activate abilities. I guess that's possible. I guess the whole point of Lion's Eye Diamond, like way back in the day, was to just activate abilities. Because I know, like, in my opinion, you should be able to use this card to play a card from your hand, but like by the errata, you're not allowed to. Like, I think you should be allowed to cast card, then with it on the stack. Well, it's not on the stack yet, but I declare my creature to be being cast. I sacrifice Lion's Eye Diamond to pay its mana cost. I discard my hand, and then I cast my spell. But anyway, you're not allowed to do that. You actually have to sacrifice this card first. Discard your hand, and then, like, how do you pay for anything? Yeah, I really don't even know what they wanted to use with this card back in the day. It was trash during launch and the years leading up to the 2008ish. So it was just bad the entire time. Until it found a place casting flashback cards. Yeah, I think its only purpose at the time was to activate mana abilities. Next we got Steve Cooper. Thanks so much for being a member, Steve Cooper. Scheming Symmetry. Scheming Symmetry. Why would I politics when I could be greedy? Black Sorcery, choose two target players. Each of them searches their library for a card, then shuffles their library and puts that card on top. Oh, so you so you didn't see the value of playing this as a politics card. You would rather, oh no, I'm the only one who should get a card around here. I'm a vampiric tutorer. I'm not a scheming symmetryer. Yeah, we did Dark Depths. Is there another Dark Depths person? If you have a different reason, I'm all for it. Okay, Gillum also didn't understand Dark Depths. This is probably the only show where I'll accept the same card twice, especially if there's another explanation. Until Vampire Hexmage was printed 5 years later. You and us both. Well, no, I wasn't around during Dark Depths printing. I had always known about the combo when I had gotten back into the game. We have not mentioned Mox Amber. Well, what's your explanation? I'm going to prioritize people with explanations, like Fabian, because it's all about your explanation. It's your interpretation. I didn't see how sacrificing one creature with board value was worth dealing 1 damage. Then I discovered token decks. It's very funny. Like, this actually saw play in Legacy Zombies a long time ago. Zombies that could be recast from the graveyard or get some synergy from either being sacrificed or being in the graveyard. So Goblin Bombardment has seen a little bit of play over there. Yeah, of course, you can see it in the Goblin decks. And see that weirdly sees a lot of play today in Modern in the Energy deck, especially since they have a lot of tokens in the form of cat tokens that you can sack away. Also helps enable their Ajani to flip it into the Ajani Planeswalker. Okay, we're going to take a look at more of these incredibly good cards that we used to think we were bad, but we know better now. And you can get them at FusionGamingOnline.com. Don't forget the deal of the week, 15% off all showcase singles. You can get your Areni, you can get your... I don't know. I'm not familiar with any of these arts, so I can't really tell you what they are. Oh, we got the Bitter Bloom Bearer. A lot of cool showcase singles. If you like fancy arts like I do, I'm a huge fan of the Showcase Brazen Borrower. Get them at FusionGamingOnline.com. Don't forget to use coupon code Nikachu. However, if you didn't like that 15% off deal, well, you can stack it with 5% off using coupon code Nikachu at checkout. And, of course, it supports the channel. And we've got... Okay, who do we got next? Oh, here's a great one. I like this one from D Master Not 2. Thoughtseize. Thoughtseas looks terrible to me, but I'm not a black player. I could tell it was good. Not that it was clearly and obviously better than other 1-mana discard utility that actually could zap lands or didn't cost you life. It's like, Thoughtseize can't even take lands with this thing. And it's a sorcery speed spell, and I have to lose 2 life. Pathetic. You know what's funny? The formats are so aggro these days that Thoughtseize has been like somewhat powered out of the game. I imagine it's still good in EDH, but holy crap, Thoughtseize is not what it used to be in one-on-one constructed Magic. Not what it used to be. Next we got Corbinic with Quark Clan Ironworks. I was 13 when the card came out, and the only artifact I ran in my zombie deck was Skull Clamp. No artifact player in my pod either. There was Commander back then? Okay, we have a 4-mana artifact, sack an artifact to add 2 to your mana pool. I mean, this Ironworks is the type of card that you have to build around. Like, you're building an entire archetype around this thing. I didn't even know it was supposed to be like a combo card. It ended up being a combo card. But yeah, if you're not building around some going big or going combo, yeah, sacking your poor little, was it your Skull Clamp? Why would I want to sacrifice my Skull Clamp? Or my Soul Ring? I just got my Soul Ring. I could totally see someone seeing Quark Clan Ironworks just being terrible. I saw, like, you know what, before it got broken by Matt Nass in Modern, it actually was played here and there in the format with complete failure. So it was not an easy card. It was not an easy deck to enable. Ironworks was good in Type 2 until the end of the 2004 season. That was actually around the time I stopped playing Magic, so I just missed the Ironworks. Here's an interesting one. I like the simple ones. Underground Sea. Kano says Underground Sea. Or literally any OG duel. Why would anyone not trade lands to get massive creatures like Sarah Angels and Shivan Dragons? What do you mean not trade lands? Oh, I see. You mean you're talking about like the value of this card. It's like, this is just a land. You mean like a basic land? Okay, sure, you can have both, but like I could put both a swamp and an island in my deck instead of this thing. Hey, you want to trade this for your Sarah Angel or your Shivan Dragon? That's not the first... You're not the first person to give a very similar story as that. Okay, next up, we got Rare Blue Skittles. We got Retributive Wand. Didn't get the potential until Oscar, the Constructor, came out. Also works with Quark Clan Ironworks. So you people like your Ironworks cards. 3-mana artifact, pay 3 tap. Retributive Wand deals 1 damage to any target. When Retributive Wand is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, oh, it deals 5 damage to any target. Yeah, you set. Why do you want to open the Golden Goose? Rare Blue Skittles. The Golden Goose. Oh, I have a super chat here that's been sitting here for a long time. Phil Goad. Blood Moon. This probably is in the same, okay, without reading your explanation, let me guess. It's like, you all have basic lands anyway, so why would this be any good? You know, like, if, you know, in a play group mentality where non-basic lands are bad, Blood Moon becomes worse. Me and my friends didn't have non-basics. I nailed it. Of course. Of course. Yeah, so it's basically, I bet you played with Kano. You and Kano were playing way back in the day. Blood Moon only got better with time. was probably okay even back then. Or maybe it wasn't. You know, around the era of Blood Moon, if I remember correctly, there was no one really wanted to play with multicolored decks, so there was no reason to play Blood Moon. Like it was a lot of monocolor stuff. When I first started playing the game, which was around like 1999 to 2000, it was just like monocolor decks galore. So there wasn't any really incentive to go multicolor to then metagame against. These days, everyone wants to jam every single color to play every single spell. But it wasn't such the case back in the day. You could get by with monocolor, and we liked it like that. Bab with Nourishing Shoal. Looks like hot garbage, yet Grishelbrand was a completely evil deck. Like I said, you know, Necropotence, Yawgmoth's Bargain, in theory, could be fair sometimes. But if you combine it with life gain, then they are super, 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 super ultra busted. The green X, you may exile a green card with converted mana cost X from your hand rather than pay the spell's mana cost. You gain X life. Now, to be fair, this card is garbage unless you've got like a Necropotence-like ability. But that's only where it's good. That's only where it's good. Little MX Doom, is it a hot take to say Magus of the Moon is better than OG Blood Moon? I want to say Magus of the Moon doesn't see as much play. The problem is that if you turn everyone's mana red, then everybody's like removal spells still work, like the red removal spells, which is why Harbinger of the Seas ends up being a better Magus of the Moon than Magus of the Moon. Okay, some people don't disagree. All right, go for it. Not to mention Blood Moon was also just stone dead to mono red. Yeah, it was very, very dead. Little MX Doom is back. We got a Johnny Strength of the Pride. Let's take a look at that. So many people. What? Strength. Give me strength. So many people will let this resolve, not realizing that you can pull that ultimate off with no build up in life gain. Interesting. So for 4 mana, we have a 5 loyalty of Johnny, and the loyal. I wouldn't call this an ultimate, but if you have at least 15 life more than your starting life total, exile a Johnny of the Pride and each artifact and creature your opponents control. Interesting. So all you need 15 life more than your starting life total. So at a 20 life game, you just need 35. Yeah, but in Commander, you would need 55. Next up, we've got Benny. Used to think Liliana of the Veil. What did you think of Liliana of the Veil? Was crap because she supposedly killed your card advantage. Yeah, but she wasn't a card advantage card. Well, she was a card advantage card, but not in the way you probably usually card advantage. So 3 mana, 3 loyalty, +1. Each player discards a card. Why the hell would I want to do that? I just drew this damn card. Why am I playing Brainstorm alongside Liliana of the Veil? This is insane. -2, sacrifice target player sacrifices a creature. And then -6 to separate all permanents target player controls into 2 piles. Not that people got there very often. But yeah, +1. The +1 could be very discouraging. If you're playing with Liliana of the Veil correctly, you're usually everyone's going down on a lot of cards. Fabian Harbonize. I don't know. Is Harmonize even that good? I mean, it's a card. I wouldn't say it's great. Why would I play this when Return of the Wild Speaker exists? I don't know. I don't even know. I guess people play this. Is this card even that great? It's okay. I mean, maybe it's great like Ponder is great. Like maybe it's a staple. But to me, it just looks like you're tapping out for 3 cards. Benjamin Berkey says, if Magus of the Moon is better than Blood Moon, wouldn't that make Bitter Bloom Bearer better than Bitter Blossom? You know, honestly, I would give Bitter Blossom Bearer a little bit better than actual Bitter Blossom because you can kill your Bitter Blossom Bearer. Harmonize is green concentrate. Yeah, but does anyone play concentrate? Okay, fan factor, being humble here. With Shocklands, why would I pay 2 life? Sacred Foundry. Word on the street is that when Shocklands came out, players were disgusted to open these in boosters. It's like, I thought this was my rare card. Are you kidding me? I was trying, like, they don't put lands, or I don't know how often they do it. I don't know, maybe back in the day, I don't think they put lands on the package of the booster. They put some cool planeswalker, a cool creature. And then, like, hey, I could open up that planeswalker. I could open up that creature. I got a land. I got a land. This set stinks. There's so many lands. Yeah, trash rare. Shocklands were welcomed back in 2005. Not casuals. Like, as far as I know, casuals have always hated these damn cards. That's the first thing that they sell to the store. They don't. I don't know how casuals actually interpret Shocklands now. Now I think because of Commander and your need to play like 4 colors, they might be like much more warm to any sort of dual land, but they hate them because they're expensive. Leon Corgi, Punishing Fire. You didn't see how punishing it was. People on forums thought it was clunky and hard to use, but now it's banned in Modern due to loops. Oh, I mean, the loops suck. It's mostly banned because it's supposed to be oppressive to creature-based decks, and Modern is mostly a creature-based format, or at least it used to be. 2-mana instant, Punishing Fire deals 2 damage to target creature or player. Whenever an opponent gains life, you may pay red. If you do, return Punishing Fire from your graveyard to your hand. Man, whenever an opponent gains life, though. Maybe we do need this. We need this to punish the energy deck that keeps gaining life, and the more they want to gain life, the more punishing we can punish them with Punishing Fire. Trip says, I also underestimated Liliana. I didn't really get why people were saying it was so good. Liliana was quite the sleeper card. Trip Fontaine says there was some legacy decks that play Mags to the Moon over Blood Moon. It doesn't matter that it's easier to kill when your opponent can't cast the removal, and it puts them on a clock. There's also a lot of decks in Legacy, they just don't have removal. Just simple as that. Who has no card yet? The Merfolk God? Which one? There's a lot of quite a few Merfolk gods. One of them being Thassa, but also be specific. Mycom, and also give an explanation. Mycom, Likeness Looter. Likeness Looter? The hell is that? Thought it just wasted your cards with no real card advantage. So it's a 2-mana 1/1 Fairy Shapeshifter. This came out recently. Well, recently. Flying, tap, draw a card, then discard a card. And for X, Likeness Looter becomes a copy of target creature card in your graveyard with mana value X, except it has flying and this ability. Activate only as a sorcery. Seems like an okay card. I thought it just wasted your cards with no real card advantage. Well, you don't get to keep any cards. I mean, you're well, okay. So you're not at card disadvantage, but you're not at card advantage. Your card quality went up, if nothing else. Next we've got Prince of Winners, Jite. I'm assuming Umezawa's Jite. Not even Wizards thought it was good. It was in a darn precon. Was it? Yeah, they don't put the bombs in precons now, do they? 2-mana equipment. When an equipped creature deals combat damage, put 2 charge counters on your Umezawa's Jite, and you can use them to either give the creature +2/+2, give another creature -1/-1, or also gain 2 life. Just got unbanned in Modern, and it is stone cold unplayable. I was saying it since 2019. I made several videos about how they could unban Umezawa's Jite, and it would be just a bad but playable card, and now it's just unplayable. It's terrible. It was so bad. The looter can become a creature you discard into the graveyard, though. What is this? Becomes a copy of target creature card in your graveyard with mana value X, except it has flying. Oh yeah. It's sort of like a reanimator card, except it's a cloning copy sort of thing. Next we've got another Little MX Doom. Little MX Doom's loving this show. Care Keep. Is that the egg? Why would I want 0 power tokens? Care. Is it this? Oh, no, this card. Why would I want 0 power token? Well, maybe they're great blockers. Okay, we got a legendary land here. Tap for a colorless, or pay 2, tap. Create a 0/1 red kobold creature token named Kobolds of Care Keep. And it's pretty cheap. You can, for 2 mana, create a random blocker. Because remember, you don't need any power in order to chump block your opponent's creatures. Just like you don't need to own the entire collection of Magic the Gathering to enjoy every format on Magic Online when you rent with Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards on the digital client, Magic Online. Use coupon code Nikachu_Z4M for 40% cash back on your 3rd month subscription. Yeah, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Hold on, give me a sec. I'm just going to run for some water. I'll be back in 5 seconds. Don't change that channel. Okay, it was a little longer than 5 seconds. I had a drink, but I'm running out of drink over here. Everyone's talking about Dark Confidant. Okay, well, so a bunch of people want Dark Confidant. Let's get Dark Confidant. For all purposes I know, this card was bad. It's like killed tons of my opponents. Benjamin Berkey said it was bad because I used to think losing life equal to the card's mana value was too steep. It was too steep. Most of my opponents got a dirt nap. Holy crap, the number of people I killed off of their own Dark Confidant, it's insane. Dark Confidant at launch, half of the players didn't see how good Bob's card was and getting more cards than to donate it to an opponent to kill him with it. In fact, one fool sold me 2 for $9 USD. That's really funny. We're gonna donate Dark Confidant so that it kills the opponent. Now, okay, all things considered, Dark Confidant in the right deck will absolutely grind you so many cards. And of course, here's the thing, back then a 2/1 creature was worth something. A 2/1 creature today is worth nothing. A 2/1 creature, but in 2026 might as well be a Kobolds of Care Keep. I mean, this is a Kobolds of Care Keep of today. Anyone with no card yet? Let's see. I don't think Sean got it. Equipment in general is pretty much an unplayable card type. Need a power crept Cauldron complete. Oh yeah, I think equipment was always bad. Except, I guess, Umezawa's Jite at the time. Thanks for the opinion, Sean. Am I missing anybody? What, I got to everybody? We're at no 2 cards yet? I guess we're at no 2 cards yet at this point. Oh no, Trisaro has something. Faithless Looting. I didn't understand the value of discarding, milling, etc. to reanimate later on. That's actually funny because I think most people that I ever met with Faithless Looting overestimated like what it was worth. They didn't understand. Too many people played this card like it was Brainstorm. It's a red sorcery, draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards, flashback of 3. If you are not using your graveyard or using the discard through madness or something, like you're just losing with this thing. You will grind yourself to death. I shouldn't say that in all cases. I can think of one deck that used this like card advantage. It was called like Mardu Pyromancer, but that was it. Usually if you play this card, you have to be very careful because you can just lose a bunch of cards on your own or waste a bunch of time actually playing this thing. D-Master says, like most people, even if we thought Tarmogoyf could be that good, we didn't realize it was gonna be that good. Okay, Tarmogoyf. Tarmogoyf is another card where by the time I got back into Magic, Tarmogoyf was already a good card. 2 mana, star 1. Tarmogoyf's power is equal to the number of card types among cards in all graveyards, and its toughness is equal to that number plus 1. I thought I remember reading some Channel Fireball article about how Channel Fireball was just buying up all the Tarmogoyfs because the pros at Channel Fireball realized, well, this card is broken. This card is insane, and it was just going. It was being sold for like I don't know pennies, but dollars. And so they were just buying up a lot of Tarmogoyfs, doing big speculation on Tarmogoyf before everyone else realized that it was super hot stuff. We got... I guess we're at no 2 cards yet now, people. I think this is a fun show. Where is everybody else who wants to contribute? Okay, Kano, Force of Will. True story. Why 2 for 1 myself when I could just counter spell the card? I think I was in the exact same boat as you, Kano, when I first started playing. I did own Force of Will, but I only put 2 in my deck for the exact same reason. Like, I don't want to have too many of these cards. That's card disadvantage. Like, I need my card advantage. I'm like, okay, I need to have, like, something for a just in case. I need a just in case sort of spell, so I have Force of Will. But I thought, like, having more than 2 in my deck was incredibly excessive. What's your explanation, John, for Glacial Chasm? I'll take Glacial Chasm, but I need to hear some explanation. Oh, well, Archangel Nu will take on your Glacial Chasm. Glacial Chasm. When it came out, harsh cumulative upkeep, land sacrifice when enters and removes your attack. That's right. Oh, yeah. Who the hell could play this card? It wouldn't be until a Dark Depths combo lands deck in the future that would actually make really good use of this thing. Cumulative upkeep, pay 2 life. When Glacial Chasm comes into play, sack a land. Creatures you control can't attack, but you prevent all damage that would be dealt to you. How am I supposed to win? And I'm gonna keep doming myself for 1 billion damage. Wouldn't be until like Crucible Worlds comes out. Crucible Worlds probably made this card a little bit better at some point. Maybe. Benny says, someone once traded me a revised Tropical Island near mint for my only 1 Tarmogoyf. Depending when that trade was made, it could have been a good deal, it could have been a terrible deal. Merciless. You have a card? Merciless. Okay, I'm gonna dig. Why didn't you just post the thing? Oh, Devoted Druid. That's a card. Devoted Druid in Commander, to be specific. I used to think was only good in Counters Matters. It's good if you plan to temporarily buff all creatures as well. That's true too. Okay, so if the creatures get bigger on toughness, you can add more counters on your Devoted Druid, and it's like it's super ramp. You can either tap it for a green, then of course you can keep untapping it over and over and over and over again, depending on how big your Devoted Druid is. Also, there's combos with this card. There's a lot of combos for infinite mana. Life from the... Okay, you know what? Yeah, screw Crucible Worlds. I think Life from the Loam is a much better enabler for Glacial Chasm, because also Life from the Loam can go find that Glacial Chasm. Okay, we got John with the Gladiator Soul... What the hell? There's a such thing as Gladiator Soul Spike? It doesn't... unless you're just talking about Soul Spike, the card. I don't know why you... front rowed the Gladiator. It took a decade for a 3-for-1 not in your favor to finally be good. Okay, so that's exactly the Soul Spike card. Only longer, right? This came in it was 2 decades. It took like 2 cold decades from Cold Snap to make this card even remotely playable. You may remove 2 black cards in your hand from the game rather than pay Soul Spike's mana cost, and it deals 4 damage to target creature or player, and you gain 4 life. And it basically only saw play in the Necro Dominance deck that ended up becoming a hot thing in Modern. Byflex, do you still upload to your main? I mean, I'm working on it. I know. I haven't uploaded anything in a long time. I'm working on it, okay? I promise I'm working on it. I gotta work harder. I should work harder. Okay, next, Wandering Picked. Anecdotal. This whole show is anecdotal. It's all anecdotal here. Anecdotal, but a friend of mine told us he traded off his Black Lotus for 4 out of 4 vampires, which he thought were much better. Oh my god. That's a brutal trade. Sean with Solitude. I saw people were unsure about Modern Horizons 2 Evoke Elementals because going down 2-for-1 for removal seems sus. It was the Force of Will. This was the Force of Will for creatures, and frankly, I'm happy that it exists. I'm not particularly happy that this card can be blinked, but I'm happy that it can sometimes blow out like super aggro decks. Did we do Death Shadow? Okay, this is a not what the I understand Death Shadow is a slept on card overall, but this is a very personal show. Why did you think Death Shadow was bad? So this is all, it's all very personal, and you all can choose the same card as we talked about in the past, but with a different explanation, like Blue Bomber with Necropotence. We actually looked at Necropotence. We're gonna look at it again. Look how underestimated this card was. Back then, I thought skipping your draw phase was dumb. And why draw at end of turn? Oh yeah, you know what? That's a really good point. You didn't even get the cards immediately. You would only get them after the fact. So you, like, any creatures that you drew were completely worthless. We actually missed that point the first time we looked at this card. Hinaria with Deathrite Shaman. What was it? I used to only see this card as a mana dork. Well, this card, funny enough, got banned in Modern Legacy because it was like a Swiss Army knife. It was a mana dork. It was a very good mana dork. It's insane. It's insanely good for as long as fetch lands are in the format. And but it also is like a win condition, and it also made it really hard for your opponent to kill you because you can gain life from the graveyard. Let's see. Well, we can do cards over again so long as the explanation is new. We got a new explanation. Someone to fourth C with Browse. I never heard of this card. I didn't like exiling things with no way to get them back, not realizing it would get me to my win con faster. Oh, it's an enchantment for 4 mana and an activated ability of 4 mana. Look at the top 5 cards of your library and put one of them into your hand. Remove the rest from the game. I mean, I could totally see a casual player like feeling bad about this card. Like, what if 2 of your favorite cards was in that top 5 cards? You're only allowed to choose one of them. Got to exile the rest. It's almost like putting it into the graveyard. Josaru, are modern players always in flight or flight mode because of all the free spells? It's all flight. It's all flight, no fight. Dustin Newbie with Mockingbird. I was using it in my mill deck as a makeshift head-drawn crab, basically, when it came out. And now I'm seeing it used by streamers a lot now. Plus, it can copy creatures like Ragavan if needed. No, I can't copy Ragavan because, remember, Ragavan is legendary. And Mockingbird is still going to care if it's copying a legendary permanent on the battle. Except as a bird in addition to its other types. Yeah, so it's still going to care. That being said, Mockingbird is just it's a versatile clone. Here's the thing, like, clones these days, they're sort of bad. Because if there's nothing on the battlefield when you play your clone, then the clone, it has to die. Well, I shouldn't say all clones, but there's some clones that can only copy your stuff. Then there's some clones that can copy other people's stuff. But the point is, if there's nothing on the battlefield, then you got nothing. Mockingbird, when it enters the battlefield, it can copy anything on the battlefield. But if you kill that thing, you at least have a 1/1 flyer. Anyway. What's your explanation for Pestilence, Spyflex? You got to give an explanation. Like, that's what the whole show is about. Micum with the second card, Forgotten Cave. I hate this cycle. Some people at my local game store swear by it. I don't like monocolor lands entering tapped. Yeah, enter the battlefield tapped, but you can cycle it for a red. I would say, I think you're right. I mean, this card, it's okay. It's okay. It's not as bad as you probably think it is, but it's definitely not good. I prefer to not play with these cards. It shines mostly in a deck that would want to fill their graveyard or want to cycle because there's some cycle shenanigans. Secret card shop. When I first saw Siege Rhino. I thought nothing of it, but what was an absolute monster in Standard. You're not the only one. We all thought so. Yeah, it just looked on spoiler season. All right, it's a 4 mana, 4/5 clunker, big deal. But yeah, Lightning Helix for 4 mana, not bad. Also, 4/5 creature. Once it's on the battlefield, you're like, yeah, that's hard to attack into. And then it comes after you, even for 4 damage. But that 4 damage, it hits hard every single turn. And you can't chump block the damn thing because it's got trample. 100%. Next. I am error. Original moment. Why would I want an artifact that function as a land? Original moment? You mean monument or something? Monument? Is there such thing as I don't know the card that you want. Sorry about that. You have to give me another. You gotta give me the real card. Oh, the original Moxen. Oops, why am I looking up? Okay, hold on, let's look up Mox Jet. Okay, the original Moxen. Why would I want an artifact that functions as a land? Wow, did you play back in the day? That's crazy. Were you one of those people that threw away your Moxen? Like, this is crap. I mean, this is like a land that dies to disenchant, which existed back in the day. Kevin Lopez asks, what's NCY? No card yet. That means you haven't participated. Yeah, I haven't picked you yet. And I do look for no card. I prioritize people who have not got a card on the show yet. Saffron Olive would never doubt Siege Rhino. Some people got their fill of Siege Rhino back in the day. Winner, Brainstorm. I also thought this card was stone garbage. I thought this card was so bad. Yes, really, I didn't know about fetches and shuffling effects. It seems like you just replace cards in your hand at first. Yes! That's literally what I thought this was for. And, truth be told, in my very first decks, I never had fetch lands. Even though, were they available yet? Not really. I mean, there were old-style fetch lands that I'd never heard of. But, yeah, there was old-style fetch lands I never heard of. But even when the new fetch lands came out, I didn't realize Brainstorm was any good. It's also partially why I thought Jace the Mind Sculptor was so bad, because I was playing it super bad. Phil Go with Curse Scroll. I never thought this card was bad. My hand stays full. This is stupid. Curse Scroll is like, it's pay 3, name a card, reveal a card at random from your hand. If it's the name card, it deals 2 damage to target creature or player, unless you have 1 card in your hand. But why would you want to do that? There's so many decks that, like, why I want to keep my hand big and full and beautiful. In any case, only I don't know about only, but red decks made the best of this card to its fullest. Kono says, I mean, fetch lands could be in this show. I have no idea. Misty Rain Forest. How many people out there thought fetch lands were bad? I always thought fetch lands were awesome. I thought they were great. Tap, pay 1 life, sack it to search your library for a forest or an island card. But then again, you know what? I thought they were great for the wrong reason. Like, when I first saw fetch lands, I thought, okay, this is like a dual land. This is like a dual land, basically, but a lot cheaper than actual dual lands. And it thins my deck. A lot of people out there, they still overrate that ability. Brainstorm is a staple in sneak attack deck. Brainstorm is a staple in like any combo deck that can add blue. Billion Pig with City of Traders. A land that gets used once and blows up. Yep, it's like a soul land. Well, I mean, it is a soul land. You play another land, you gotta sacrifice your City of Traders. But you didn't look at the upside. The upside is you can play really big spells. Make sure you just play it as your last land, that's all. It's gotta be your last land, not your first. Benny is like, with 1 card in hand, why play it when you can play with Curse Scroll? Yeah, they're Curse Scroll. Every 2 damage counts. Okay, we got Jagra with Mana Vault. I never played this when I first started playing because I thought the loss of life and the negative net mana was bad. It doesn't untap during your untap step, but of course you could pay 4 mana to untap it. Other than that, if at the beginning of your draw step, if it's tapped, it deals 1 damage to you and you get 3 colorless. The key is you gotta look at it like a colorless dark ritual and make sure it counts. Steve Cooper says, I think I didn't get fetches at first. Hanaria, fetch lands. Fetch lands I play are only Evolving Wilds and Terramorphic Expanse. Okay, I think I know the formats you play around here. We got Pyre, Dryad Arbor. You were afraid of the Dryad Arbor dying? A land drop, you can Lightning Bolt? Why? Yeah, you can, and they do. They do that, Pyre. They absolutely do that. Mercenary says, I thought fetch lands were bad until I saw Nugton won 2004 Worlds with them. You know, you could say that about a lot of cards. Like, oh, this card's crap. Ah, it's terrible. And then all of a sudden they like win it big in Worlds or the Pro Tours. Like, oh, you know what? Maybe the card's not so bad. You've shown us the way. Zors! Oh, Remand is a great card. Great card. You get your card back, didn't understand tempo. Is it, you know what I think was more important to Remand than they got their card back is that you drew a card. That was like really, really important. A Remand was super popular in control decks and combo decks that were just trying to stall you out until they got to a point where they wanted to play something big. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of Remand either until I started playing with it, and I realized it's not too bad. The card is good so long as there's a lot of big, expensive cards in the format. Otherwise, it is pretty terrible. Like, remanding really small, cheap creatures are just garbage. Even, in my opinion, even knowing why people play Dryad Arbor, it still sucks. So, it's random creature land. Korbanek with the Golgari Rot Farm. You know what? I also think these cards suck. You know, these are the Karoo lands. Why would I want a land that makes me put a land back in my hand and enters tapped? I get the same amount of mana by just having 2 different mana cards. Yeah, I also looked at this card like, this land is vulnerable. Like, if you wasteland this thing, that's terrible. If it gets hit with Blood Moon, that's terrible. If it anyway, I thought Golgari Rot Farm was just a more vulnerable land, but I understood the mentality of casual players that liked it. It's like you're putting more mana density in your deck without actually having to add more lands to your deck. So for everyone who doesn't put enough lands in your deck, well, here. Mikey J with Oko. Oko, Thief of I suppose I'm not going to give you an explanation because a lot of people didn't think this card was any good. 3 mana for a 4 loyalty planeswalker that makes food and apparently makes 3/3 elk tokens. I don't know how much I should really count this card because, like, basically everyone missed this card. It was very underestimated by pro players. Certainly, like, a lot of people didn't like the idea of Wizards printing more 3 mana planeswalkers, but this one ended up being just like brutally more strong than they wanted it to, and is now banned in virtually every format. Oh, it's perfectly legal in Vintage, also perfectly legal in Timeless. I would actually think in Timeless it should be even more banned. The second ability should be a minus. Oh, you could. There's a million ways you could have fixed this card. I mean, yeah, the +1 ability could be minus. It could have started at like 2 loyalty instead of 4. Like, the fact that it went straight to 6 loyalty means you almost never killed it on the first shot. It just never happened. Path to Exile from Pacers Fan Forever. You have no explanation, but I don't doubt that you're just going to say, like, why would I want to... I exile the creature, but they get a basic land out of it. That seems like a stupid deal. Unlike Swords to Plowshares, where they just gain some life, and that's no big deal at all. Next. We got Sean. Flage! Flage Titan of Fire's Fury. A lot of people thought this card was going to be very mid or unplayable. They thought... So, yes, I remember that in the spoiler season, they thought it was going to be bad because it had no home for it. And I didn't make any public announcement about this, but I was like, my friends had the same points. Like, what deck will play Flage? And I immediately told my friends, a deck will be built around Flage. Like, that's how this card is going to work. And that's exactly how this card sort of worked. I mean, it was sort of jammed in a control shell as well when it first came out. And ended up being still pretty good in a control shell at the time that it got banned. But yeah, this is the type of card you're going to build around it. You don't necessarily, like, there might not be a deck for it right now. Well, you're going to build a deck around it. That's how good it is. It's literally Uro. It's like the Uro 2.0. And we didn't learn, apparently we didn't learn from Uro when it was out. And yeah, we didn't learn squat. These abilities are too damn strong. Way too damn strong. 3-mana Lightning Helix is still decent. And 4-mana Lightning Helix that stays on the battlefield as a 6/6 and Lightning Helixes every turn is just brutal. Yeah, Boros Energy also used Flage. Here's an interesting one. Fabian with Impulse. Impulse. Draw that last until the end of turn. What? I thought it just wasted 2 or 3 cards from the top of your deck. Draw that I don't really understand. Loot the top 4 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library. The impulse draw that last until end. You thought the impulse lasted until end of turn? I thought it was just wasted 2 or 3 cards. Not exactly sure what you had a problem with here. Next. Secret Card Shop says, I also remember Grave Titan playing a far second fiddle to Primeval Titan, but was actually almost as good with 10 power on the board and then 14. Grave Titan. Did anyone eventually give respect to Grave Titan? I think the card is fine. Apparently it's considered super overrated in Commander, though. We got Talithar. Metallic Sliver. Is this any good? Remember, these are good cards we thought were bad. Ended up being a sideboard card against Slivers? Really? Real? That's interesting. That's some very fascinating history. I could totally see that happening if Slivers was actually that good back in the day. Yeah, play this in the sideboard. Screw over the other Sliver players. Ha! Your Slivers work for me now. And my Sliver doesn't work for you. This is like one of the few Slivers that doesn't have an ability. It's just generic colorless Sliver. Fabian says, I meant the exile cards from the top of your deck. You can play them this turn cards. Wait, you thought... Oh, that was... Oh! Oh, you're talking about... Oh, you're talking about, like... You gotta give me a card here. Like, light up the stage. Those impulse-like cards. Okay, hold on. Where's your explanation earlier? I didn't really understand. What the hell? So you want... I thought it just wasted 2 or 3 cards from the top of your deck since I already spent mana to cast the impulse. Okay. Now I understand. So no. You exile them and you can play them. It's the Brainstorm of Red. We did this one before, but Antler with Lion's Eye Diamond. Got mana. I got mana, but no spells. I don't got anything to use this stuff on. Blue Bomber with Intruder Alarm. I thought it was dumb that you don't untap your creatures until I learned there are cards that let you use creatures as mana dorks. Huh? I thought it was dumb that you don't untap your creatures. You do untap your creatures. Creatures don't control during their controller's untap steps, but when a singular creature comes into play, we untap all the creatures. Until you learned there are cards that let you use creatures as mana dorks. Okay. Next, we got Pacers Fan Forever with Death Shadow. 1 mana 13 with downside. But well, I mean, this is what the community. This is another card that the community at scale never saw as good. Well, I mean, some people, nichely thought that it was good and they built decks around it. But this is more. It's supposed to be more of like a personal show. What did you think was bad when it was actually good? This card was, and the funny thing, this card was just always around. Death Shadow is just always there. It's just that nobody built a good deck around it until they were forced to. Oh, with him to Torok. Where's him? Nope, wrong him. Here's the him. Just by virtue of being in Fallen Empires, I always assumed no card was worth a damn in that set. That is absolutely hilarious. Card came from Fallen Empires, must be crap. Just Once a Fallen Empires card, always a Fallen Empires card. There's no good cards in Fallen Empires. What are you doing that hymn to Turok? That can't be good. That's the first that's the most unique explanation I've heard all day. Steve Cooper with Agadeem's Awakening / Agadeem the Uncrypt. Why would I want an expensive reanimation spell or a swamp you pay for 3 life? You know, like a lot of people don't even play this card for those abilities, right? It's just that it's a black card in your deck, and it doesn't count as an actual land. So when you play with like Oops All Spells, yeah, I think that's funny. Like a lot of these cards are worthless, but they're jammed into decks like Oops All Spells or like other sort of balustrade spy decks because it just does not count as an actual land. Next, Talthar. Crashing Footfalls. It was bad until Cascade existed, but like, what? Cascade always existed when this card. I mean, I'm not entirely sure what the timeline is between you thinking this card was bad and the moment this card was good. I would imagine it was like I don't know, one night after set release, because this card saw immediate play in the like immediately. Yeah, Cascade existed in 2009, and this card came out in 2019. Did it come out in 2019? Yeah, it came out in 2019. Oh, did it? Oh, sorry. You know what? Actually, I don't think this card Footfalls was released in Time Spiral. Oh no. Oh no. This card came out in Modern Horizons. Its first appearance. But now that you say this, I don't think this card saw any play until Modern Horizons 2. I actually thought this was a Modern Horizons 2 card. It actually required Shardless Agent to make it playable. Yeah, I don't think Crashing Footfall saw any play until Shardless Agent came out in Modern Horizons 2. Yeah, I was about... Okay, so there was an actual view all prints. You want to see all prints? These are all the prints. We've got Modern Horizons. We've got the hell this thing is. And we have a mystery booster. So this was a special guest printing. And then we have mystery booster. Those are all the prints. I know my Crashing Footfalls. I'm not going to say I'm a Crashing Footfalls historian here. See, there's only 3 printings here. Is there a card called Footfalls out there that happens to be in Time Spiral? So, nope, this is it. I guess the suspend mechanic just tripping me up. Yeah. No, do you know what? You're not wrong, though. This card didn't see play for 2 more years, where finally Shardless Agent would make the deck, like, playable. And until then, I don't... Like, there were enough Cascade cards, but I guess the mana just wasn't good. Like, a Footfall deck needed to be blue, and Shardless Agent made it happen. So, yeah, I forgot. I thought Crashing Footfalls came out in Modern Horizons 2, and it was actually Modern Horizons 1. Shardless Agent was a card released in the Plane Chase 2012 decks. Yeah, but it wasn't modern playable until they made it modern playable. Ooh, this is a great one. Ryan with Gush. Yeah, I looked at cards like Gush, and I thought they were crap, too. I didn't get the hype on Gush until I saw it in action. What's really important is like you're using it with like foil. Like that's the main purpose of it. They banned this thing in Pauper, and now foil doesn't see play in Pauper. Gush, 5 mana, instinct, may return 2 islands you control to their owner's hand rather than pay Gush's mana cost, and you get to draw 2 cards. So it's like foil or bust. You gotta make some use out of it. Mordrek with Bazaar of Baghdad. To be fair, before Dredge, this was unplayable. But even then, it took some time for me to realize how broken it can be in Dredge. Yeah, I'd be curious to see what the price action of this card was before Dredge became an all-out powerhouse. Like, was it just like a sort of a mediocre reserve list card? Was it seeing play like anywhere? No, there was Madness still existed before Dredge. So I had to have seen some play in some maybe Madness style decks. Maybe, but I mean, I didn't really pay attention to this. By the time I was getting back into the game, Dredge was already like an archetype, so. It was 7 USD before 2001. Ooh. Would have been the greatest investment of all time. Greatest investment of all time. Okay, who has no card yet? We got Kevin Lopez wants a card. Tarmogoyf, which we looked at. Because are there really that many card types? How many card types could there be? Land creature. Just ends at land creature, right? The big squig with white plume adventurer. Whoa! This card is, as far as I'm concerned, this card is broken. 3 mana, 3/3 Orc Cleric. When White Plume Adventurer enters the battlefield, you take the initiative. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, untap a creature you control. If you've completed a dungeon, untap all creatures you control. Like, the card sort of doesn't mean anything on face value, but you gotta, like, play against a dungeon. You gotta play against the initiative to realize how, like, broken this is. And if you can get this out on turn 1, I mean, it's insane. Turn 1 on 1/1, too strong. Shoutouts to that guy who made a guide on how to use Gush. I should probably read it someday. Pacers fan forever. I don't see the hype on Snuff Out till recently. You're not a fan of 0 mana spells, are you? 4 mana instant. If you control a swamp, you may pay 4 life rather than pay Snuff Out's mana cost. Destroy target non-black creature. It can't be regenerated. Simple as that. It's I mean, in Modern, I pay 1 mana to play Dismember, and that still costs me 4 life. This is 0 mana, and just destroy the creature. It doesn't even deal -5 to a creature. Just outright kill the damn thing. David Sampson with food chain. Well, yeah, but why food chain? Just didn't like the idea of exiling your creatures. Exile a creature you control to add X mana of any one color, where X is 1 plus the exiled mana creature's mana value. Spend this mana only to cast creature spells. I guess it could irk some people. I gotta lose my creature to get mana from that creature. That sounds terrible. Let's see. Maybe we'll do one more. Do we have anyone else? Laurie with Teleria West. Kind of a sleeper value card. Oh yeah, this is an amazing value card. Enters the battlefield tapped, tap out of blue. But it's got transmute. I really didn't get the transmute thing. Discard this card, search your library for a card with converted mana cost 0. Reveal it and put it into your hand, then shelf your library. But once you see it being played, like, oh, you can get lands with it. Oh, you can get some like neat 0 mana artifacts with it. Yeah, it's a real, I mean, it's one of those cards as it just gets better as time goes on. And worst case scenario, you can still tap it for a bunch of mana. Destructor says, dang, you know, we got our Snuff Out and Days washed in the rain and we didn't care last time. Now these are the best cards. Well, fortunately for you, they're not that expensive. Like, Days is a $3 card. Unless you got the foil to the original Nemesis. I believe this is like $1 billion. Days. This is another card. I believe I played Days back then, but I wasn't happy about it. It's like counter target spell unless you pay 1. Well, they almost always have 1 out there. All right, that's it, people. Thanks so much for your discussion. It was a great show. Hope everyone enjoyed it. We all got to talk about how we are really how bad we are at evaluating cards. Every card can look bad if with the right explanation. That's why we watch pros play with them and make them good around here. As usual, we do these shows Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time, or Tuesdays, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I got that right? 9 a.m. in the morning, 8 p.m. in the evening. Thanks to everyone who supports the show. If you are a patron on Patreon, a member on YouTube, or you super chat to be part of the show, or even super chat so other people are part of the show. And of course, thank you so much to my coffee crew being here today. People like Merciless and Mercenary and Benny. We got Benny and Benjamin Berkey. We got Benny's all around. Destructor, Talithar, Someone to Foresee. We got Steve Cooper, more Benny's, Destructor again, and many more. So as usual, my coffee crew, keep brewing those coffees, and we're going to keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.